The Dread King's Warning. Abalon's five were camped inside the ruin of Fort Manamoth. The night had set in the light of azure shone bright. Selune was only half uncovered by dark clouds. Owls hooted in the sunburned wood. Nearby they were camped atop Murn's close Zereeth. The fire was crackling, but soon to be dying. Needed more firewood. Zereeth and Herald were lying asleep. Father Ape was trying to read, while Aegis Battlestark was trying to beat Cassandra, Dragonhorn, and Dragon Chest, but he was the best. Aegis contemplated forfeiting as it started to get near impossible to outsmart the moves that Cassandra made. Had even taken Aegis' rook with a pawn. Suddenly an earthquake shook the old ruin, and the whole camp awoke. What is Grundaloth doing? The Earth Lord, old Grun, had the stones of the fort moving, and the ground beneath it felt like the sort of shake before the deep rift would suddenly appear. The sort of tremor which caused even elders to fear. What would happen? Suddenly a dragon appeared. Real, the old emerald of malice that spears couldn't penetrate the mossy wine-covered green. Scales off, hurting it required magical steel. Varrican real, what in the dark wheel of Bhaal Malashar? Curse and rot, what was she doing in the ruin of Manamoth? Thought Ape Malargoth. They all hastily got up and armed, ready for whatever then up. On the top of the wall they spotted an azure light. The Doom Knight Eredin Hroth, the king of Emerald Heights. Then the tribe folk of the fiery eyes came storming through the archway that had held the gate of the old ruin. Doom and dread, this is a fight that I fear we can't win, said old Abalon, and Varrican real started to grin in malice glee with a shadowed teeth the size of them huge. Then the Dread King, who should have been dead, moved down from the rampart along the old stone stairs inside the keep and stopped midway on a platform beside of him, clearer now, clad in black armor with a bat-winged full helmet on and a tattered purple fur-lined cloak. He spoke, Abalon Malargoth, before you stand Eredin Hroth, the bane of your master, Murn's cloak, the 24th High Priest of Azaloth, upon his clergy's return, after the big blue boom, and the bloom that soon unfurled in the world of Abalon. After Azaloth he planted his trees, and the bane of his master, Alarath, the friend of the green worms of the forests of Dondera the stern, and the one who caused Gloglimp to wither and burn. Gloglimp, the runic tree of Dondera before Luthric Ash, devastating conquest of the north, west of Daldrasaka, the one who fought Grist, Mana Spark, and caused him to fall down the rift of Razalon after he had bested 19 Archons. The ones I serve are Bhaal, Zereeth, and the vengeful Night Queen Woedra. One has let me have a new chance at life as the undead master of the fiery eyes tribe, and the other has given me a purpose to strive towards, conquer the Ashlands. It's my birthright. Bring upon them the endless night of quenched light. They'll attempt to fight back, but I'll end their lives with terrible might that should frighten them all. Make them tremble or fall to their knees before the dark majesty, the dark tempest, the storm of Nephilis taken form that will cause the downfall of all powers of the Ashlands. I will take back the hall of Astra and Hope, the old Donderen I call. Even Varrican real has now answered my call and recognized me as Lord of the darkening sky. Only thing that keeps me from moving out of the wilds of the Emerald Heights earlier was dividing between the Ashlanders, Nazaran and Mogar to the east, but now a new power has arisen in West Ebon Reach by the Ebon coast along the dark waves of the Moon Sea. Woedra has been taken by Luthric Ash, the Doom Herald, who even threatens to wet the two moons. The ETs calls in endless rain and acid monsoon, which will consume all the lands beneath, bring the ruin of all Daldrasaka, which goes against my own goals. So I've chosen to play a different, interesting role in the ever vast, one I never had thought. I will help you your resistance, heed your pendant call. To all the kings and the lords of the north that went out with your carrier crows when you left your keep and went south. Soon you'll observe dread king versus dread king at war. I'll raise an army of dead here on the Crescent Coast shore and take them through the sunburn to Candelar snow. Even despite my god thinking it a scandalous cause. Right now Luthric Ash controls a massive dread force, but holding back for a while from the east, and I will come from the north with one that matches his, a terrible horde of undeads galore. I'll prevent Ash from making the Acid Moonz his twin horse, as it would melt Valdrasak, consider thee warned. After Luthric Ash is dealt with, I'll become the dark storm, and my horde will swarm the Ebon Reach and Western Eldritch heartlands, and all the living shall soon succumb to me. It will be me in subjugation of all Western Valdrasak. All will come to serve the dread king, the dark Archon of Bhaal, Zereeth, me, Eredin, Hroth. And that was all the good tidings and the warnings I've got to share with your old Malargoth, Lord Azaloth, sir. Now remove thyself or die from my wilds, from my turf. Highly alert, Abalon's fight moved out of sight of both Fort Manamoth and continued with great haste towards Rassilon's rift, where beneath Rassilon's deep was to be found at Congealing's keep. But Hroth's grim warning never left the backs of their minds. The prospect of grave doom was a sign of the times. Never-ending doom on the Acid Moonz.